Hi, it's Rosara again, back at you. Give my stats right away. Its highest weight was 299. Surgery date was April the 12th of 2016, and the weight there was 251. And currently I'm 196. So this video is going to talk about why I decided to not to tell you about my surgery. So basically, I kept the circle very, very, very tight as to who I told. Just two people. Just two people I told, and they're my sisters. I decided not to tell anyone about my surgery because I wasn't sure if I was going to go through with it. Wasn't because I was ashamed of having the surgery. I think anyone who has the surgery, I actually think they're very brave. Prior to my having the surgery, I always thought anyone who has that type of surgery, they're very, very brave. It is not something to take lightly. It is not something to play with. It was a decision that took me 5 years to make. Oh, this video looks a little bit like cutting off. Okay, so it's not a decision that I made lightly. It took 5 years for me to decide whether I'm going to have the surgery or not. During those 5 years, I had many friends of mine decide to go ahead and have the surgery. I talked about it, whether or not I wanted to have the surgery, with a few coworkers, with a few friends. And during those 5 years, I tried a lot of different diets. You name it, I tried it. If I mention a few right now, I wouldn't do justice to how many I tried. And then I said, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and do it. I'm just going to go ahead and do it. And when it came down to it and I had the entire requirement fulfilled, the last step that needed to get done, my doctor didn't submit all the paperwork in time. And at the same time, I was beginning to be anxious about the process. I began to get anxious about whether or not I should have it done. So when he didn't submit the paperwork in time, I kind of didn't bother calling him to remind him to submit the last document in time. And so all my entire process expired. I didn't bother calling him. I just went ahead and let it expire. I didn't make a big deal out of it because I began to have reservations about having it done. And when I lost the ability to walk, it really made me think, I should have gotten the surgery done. In my first video, I think I posted a picture of me in one of the scooters. I went on vacation for about a week to visit my sister, and she took me to a park. Normally, I would be walking around and having some fun, but that week I had a hard time. So she said, they have scooters. So I rented the scooter, but the entire time I tried so hard to make sure that the people that were with me didn't feel bad that I was in the scooter. And I named myself the bag lady so that I could carry everything while they had fun on the rides, while they had fun here and there. And I just carried everybody's bags with me. And so when I got home, I contacted my doctor to let them know how bad my knees had gotten. And when he saw me walking to the office is when he said, whatever happened to that surgery you were supposed to have? And I explained to him what happened. He then says, maybe we should, revisit then the process and just start the process over again. I said, okay, no problem. This time, even though I had reservations about whether or not I should have the surgery, all I kept thinking of is, what is it that I'm afraid of? What is it that's not helping me finish this whole process? And the fear was, what if I die? I've heard of when this procedure first was introduced, A lot of people were dying within 24 hours to 48 hours to even a few weeks after surgery. Some people would lose a few pounds and then pass away due to complications of the surgery, whether they followed it or not. Um, and that scared me. So I thought maybe lap band would be the great thing to do. But my doctor, the surgeon that I went to see, said that his practice was no longer doing the band because they were finding that they were doing too many revisions, so they were no longer recommending the band. So the choice was between the sleeve and the gastric bypass. And in the groups that I went to, I started noticing that a lot of people in the group that I went to, there was a lot of people there that were having revisions from the sleeve to the gastric bypass. I wasn't looking to lose weight quickly. I was just looking to lose weight permanently because I've had diets where I would lose 50 pounds and then gain back the 50 plus, lose another 50, and then gain back another 50. I was tired of that yo-yo. So I was looking to lose the 50, but then lose more than the 50 and be able to maintain. So, it took 6 months, and I finally gave my doctor the okay with the gastric bypass. But I decided to only tell this whole process just my sisters, because I wasn't sure if I was gonna go through with it. I also wasn't sure how to respond to people when they would say, "Oh, you're taking the easy way out." I also wasn't sure, if I was going to have positive results. What kind of results was I going to have? Because everybody reacts differently to the surgery. So I decided to just tell my two sisters and everybody else whenever they ask, "Oh, you want to go out here? Let's go out this. Let's do this." If I had a doctor's appointment, I would just say, "Oh, I'm going to go see my I'm going to see my doctor, because my knee, because of my back, because I have had sciatica for a long time." Or I would say, "Oh, I'm going to a weight management group, and me, always on a diet." So no one questioned, what I was doing. I would say a couple of weeks before surgery, I told my husband that I was having the surgery. And his reaction, the whole 6 months, he's been helping me with losing the weight so that I can get approved for the insurance, and he didn't think anything of it. He knew I was going to the weight management appointments, and he didn't think anything of it. So when I told him about the surgery a few weeks before the surgery was to happen, he was a bit surprised. But at the same time, he said to me, "Are you sure you want to have this done?" I said, all those classes that I've been taking about weight management and, all these doctor's appointments that I've been going to, how hard it is for me to walk right now and how much I'm becoming more and more dependent upon you and the girls. I said, I just can't do this anymore. And I think this is going to help. And all the questions that he had, I was better prepared to answer. I sat my girls down, and all the questions that they had, I was able to answer their questions. We are a people who believe very much in the power of prayer. And when my youngest daughter said, "Mom, I'm really scared because the statistics of people passing away from the surgery, though it looks small if you compare it to an X amount of numbers, it is pretty high. What if you fall into that small percentage?" And I said to her, "Hun, we have to pray. Pray that I don't fall into that small percentage. Pray that I fall into the higher percentage." And so, she's like, "Okay." So we went ahead with it, obviously. And my surgery was very early in the morning. I had to be at the hospital. I think it was 8 o'clock in the morning. So I had to be there around 5:30, 6 o'clock. for preparation. And then I think around 8 o'clock, 8:30, I was already in the room. When I woke up, um, I think my husband had just shown up because he had left, and then he came back. And um, later that afternoon, my daughters came, and one of them got to stay with me one day. The following day, the other one got to stay with me, and they took turns. I did have a reaction, not to the surgery, but to I use a machine to go to sleep. It's sleep apnea. And on the second night, um, the machine was right next to me, but I was supposed to, and I didn't realize this, I was supposed to use one of those breathing things every, I don't know, hour to 2 hours to strengthen the lungs. And I didn't know this. So I never used it. I began to have this reaction where I was having a hard time breathing. And so my daughters got very scared. And I have to admit, I was pretty scared too when I was having a hard time breathing. But the nurses were awesome. And they came in very quickly and gave me the apparatus to help me be able to breathe. And once I got that under control, they asked if I was using the sleep apnea machine. I was like, oh, yeah, of course. At nighttime, I had used it already. It's like, well, are you using this apparatus to make sure that you're exercising your lungs? And I was like, no, I had no idea how to use it. And so they gave it to me to use, and I used it every so many, I don't know, I want to say maybe every hour. I was like, and the girls are so cute that they were like, Mom, don't forget this. Mom, don't forget that. So uh, basically, that stay in the hospital was when a lot of people started finding out what I was there for. And I, decided I don't care what people's reaction is going to be. I'm not going to be ashamed to tell people that I had the surgery. I am not going to be ashamed or put in the corners to hide what I've done. I haven't done anything bad. I haven't committed a sin. I haven't hurt anyone. This is to help me. And if you love me and if you care about me, then you would respect the decision that I made. And so um, I had a family come and visit me. I really wasn't up for visitors, but I tried my best to put a smile and have the family come and visit me. And the most amazing thing was that um, she says, well, look what you did to yourself. It's too late now to talk you out of it. But since you did this, now you got to live with it. And I let her talk. Just let her talk. I actually didn't know what to say. And I still, when I remind myself or the memory comes to me, I still don't know how to react to that. But because today I have lost a little over 100 pounds, when she sees me, she is very surprised and she's taken aback and she's all excited. And now she wants to know what to do so that she can also not have the surgery, but also follow the same plan that I'm on, in addition to having the surgery as a tool. So I explained to her, I said, I'm still eating food. There's no special food. I just eliminated, bread, rice, pasta. Definitely can't eat cereal. For some reason, cereal, even if the healthy kind, I can't tolerate. No sweets unless it's something like very small bites, because sweets, I definitely cannot tolerate sweets at all. I love coffee, and Dunkin Donuts coffee I love. I know there's a lot of people that like Starbucks, but I actually love Dunkin Donuts. Um, Usually this size of coffee I can drink pretty quick, but it takes me quite a while to drink this, since by the time I get my fix, I've only drank half of it, and that's it. I can't drink the other half, but mentally I still have to order a medium. I probably could get away with ordering a small and pay less, waste less, but I don't understand why mentally I still have to order a medium. I seriously, I have no idea why. It feels better when I order a medium. I I don't know. It's all in my head. But again, that is the reason why I decided not to tell many people. But now I don't care. Not ashamed. I don't advertise, hey, look, I had surgery. But when the conversation comes up, I am not ashamed to say it. And I will not allow anyone to shame me into a corner about having had the surgery either. And I think people need to be educated before making that statement that it's the easy way out. Um, because whether it's the easy way out or not, and whether you see it as being the easy way or not, it is a personal choice that people make, such as myself, to improve the quality of life in which we are leading. So that's my gifs on why I decided not to tell you. Bye bye.